Hello, this is Victor Horcasitas with the American Society of Barcelona and Barcelona Metropolitan, and we're here to have a discussion about a very important subject to expats, and that is in the area of family law, and something that afflicts many of us has to deal with the issue of divorce. And with us today, we have an expert in family law and divorce in particular, and we're going to be asking her some questions that we frequently get at Barcelona Metropolitan and the American Society, and that person is Helen from Klev&Vera. And anyway, thank you very much. Helen, can you talk a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump right into the questions.
Victor, yes, I am Helen Vera. I am a licensed lawyer of Barcelona Bar Association and partner of Klev&Vera law firm here in Barcelona.
Okay, perfect. So again, we're going to be doing a series with you and Anna on Klev&Vera's most frequent asked questions from the international community. And we thank you very much for all this value add that you're providing. So we have a number of questions that we've put out on Facebook and also on LinkedIn, and we're going to be asking you those questions. Okay, Helen? So thank you so much in advance for your help. And if you guys have any questions, please call Klev&Vera, and we'll put the details beneath so you can reach out to them. All right? So we're going to talk about divorce. So Helen, right off the bat, so what are your rights if you get separated and or divorced in Spain and you're not from Spain?
Well, if you get divorced in Spain or separated, in case that you have children, just to let you know, guys, that you still keep the right to decide about, or to make any decision about all the important issues about your children's life. I mean, with this education, moral values, or the most important, residence place.
Okay, so if you are an expat and you're concerned about what rights that you might have to give up if your spouse does not want to share custody, you still have this area of making sure that residence, education, and health, these are the areas that are protected, right?
Yes, no matter what type of arrangement you have regarding custody, as a parent, according to Spanish law, you will preserve those rights.
Okay, and what if you don't have kids?
If you don't have kids and you have got married, which is the most likely circumstances outside of Spain, the economic regime applicable will be the law of the place or the prenuptial agreement that you have signed when you got married. That is the by default arrangement regarding alimony, which is the most concerning issue when it comes to getting divorced in abroad.
Okay, and how do you deal with, like, say, compensation or spouse support?
Is by default the division of common assets. It's not. I mean, it is not provided in the law or established as such. So each court will decide case by case and according to any or your particular circumstances, what will be the applicable regime, because every life is different and every situation is different. Anyhow, here in Spain, it is by default it is the general regime that you have common assets. That means that all the share assets or whatever assets acquired during the marriage will be part of the marital assets and should be divided by half.
I see. Okay. Well, I think that's we got to make sure that everything is on a case-by-case basis. But if there is no other, I guess, premarital, whatever you guys create together, it should be split in half. That's the general, I guess, theory, right? So then I have another question that comes up. What happens in cases of adultery? What is the deal with adultery in Spain?
Well, in Spain, adultery is not a cause of divorce. In fact, in Spain, the divorce is non-fault. That means that proven that you have been married for more than 3 months and that you are a Spanish resident for more than 1 year, you can apply for divorce. The common mistake that people make is to think that or assume that there will be a financial additional settlement in case that the other part of the marriage has been unfaithful or have left the marriage. And in the reality, the court in Spain doesn't care about how the marriage ends. It's just about how your economic regime has been so as for instance, a prenuptial agreement or the particular circumstances of the marriage.
Sorry, the cost of the separation is not important, but what is important is to figure out how to equitably divide the assets. Okay.
Yes. What resources you each have available and how they are to be divided fairly.
Okay. Another question that comes up. Is there such a thing as a quickie divorce in Spain?
Well, in Spain, there is not such a thing like a quickie divorce. Regular proceeding will last at least 4 months. That is in the case that you don't have children in common. If you have children in common, can take longer because the prosecutor will be part in the case and will be the guardianship of the children's rights, and he will have to issue and report stating that all the terms of the agreement are in benefit or in the best interests of the children. And in case that you pursue for litigation, can take more than 12 months. That is the reality. Our system, our court system is very archaic. It's not very modern.
Okay. In this archaic divorce process, so there is not like where I come from in the U.S., in the state where I'm from, you have to be separated a year before you can actually get divorced. That doesn't occur here?
No. It is non-fault. The only thing that you have to prove is that you have been married for more than 3 months, and also that you have been Spanish residents registered as such in the city hall. In order to Spain to have jurisdiction to know about the case.
Okay, and so if you're in Spain and you get divorced, say the financially weaker party, is that person then protected?
Yes, getting divorced in Spain can benefit the financially weaker party. It's possible to obtain an economic compensation to solve the economic imbalance, or simply just to compensate economically the time that that person has devoted to exclusively take care of the children or looking after them, somehow giving up her professional or his professional career.
Excellent. Okay, I think that's very insightful. And in terms of say spousal payments, how is that handled?
In Spain, the spousal payments are very low. I mean, you might not get a meal ticket for life.
Okay.
The reason is because minimum salary wage and per capita income is low compared to the United States or to Northern Europe. That's the reality.
Is there an estimate that as a guideline for what people get?
Sure. Depending on the age of the weaker party, the chances that the person has to get a job in the market, how many issues regarding health this person has, it will be around 48 months up to, I think, more than probably 60 months, no more. That's the reality. Unless you are older than 50 years and you have no chances to get back to work because of your background or whatever, it is really difficult to give you an accurate answer because it needs to be dealt case by case.
Okay, fair enough. Are there any things that we need to know regarding financial disclosures?
Sure. I mean, the rules for disclosures of financial information in Spanish divorce will include the disclosure of your tax declaration of the 3 previous years and your pay slips, but for both of the parties, not only for the petitioner or the respondent. You have to disclosure, both of them, they have to disclosure at least the tax income declaration from the last or the previous 3 years.
Okay. The division of marital assets, can you explain a little bit more about how those matrimonial assets are divided?
Yes, well, unfortunately, there is no formula for working out how assets are divided in a divorce in Spain. The Spanish courts offer some principles so that lawyers can give clients a rough idea of the likely settlement size in any particular case, but taking into account the couple's financial circumstances. Current Spanish law is far more discretionary and is based on what each party needs to live on, and the general principle is of sharing assets. This means every case is different. The courts have discretion as to how to divide up assets, income, and debts between a couple. This is vital. We are all individuals, and the ways we choose to live our lives are really variable. Now the results are just, the outcome is out of control, and it needs to be studied or analyzed case by case.
Okay, I have another question that has come up. What happens, let's say there's children in the divorce and they need to be maintained financially by, for example, typically one of the spouses makes more money. How long do those child payments typically need to continue? Is it until the child turns 18, or is it
well, that's a very tricky issue here in Spain, because here they consider child needs to be supported by their parents until they reach financial independence. That could be never. So you need to arrange very carefully to make sure to put some conditions that allow you to stop the payments once your children reach majority. Otherwise, you will be obliged forever if your children decide just to stop studying or stop looking for a job. That's the reality. So it is very important that you put a limit in the agreement, because according to Spanish law, the limit is when the children reach economic independence. That's the reality.
So defining what is economic independence and making sure that's included in your divorce agreement is a very important clause.
Is key.
Okay, very good to know. Is there any other error or mistake that some expats might normally make when it comes to a divorce agreement?
Well, normally the most repeated mistake is to believe that you can apply some articles or some custom from your origin country in your agreement here. You need to adapt to Spanish law. That's the reality. The mistakes are related to that, you know? And some Anglo-Saxon countries are more wide regarding settlement terms, but in Spain it's really restricted regarding child support payments and also to divide the assets. They have many restrictions. That's the reality, and that's the problem that usually we find when dealing with international cases.
Well, fantastic. That's been a huge help. I'm sure that a lot of people should be able to avail themselves of this advice. What is the best way to get in contact?
Sure, you can drop us an email to info@Klev&Vera.com. We will be very happy to help you just to analyze your case and give you the best possible advice on how to proceed, because not all the cases are equal. You will need some particular advice.
Okay, well, just a reminder, thank you so much for you, Helen, for your help. I want to make sure people realize that you're an expert in family law here in Spain, and you speak other languages too, right?
Yes, of course. I do speak fluent Spanish, which is my mother tongue. And also I speak some Italian, Catalan, and French.
Italian, French, Catalan, English, Spanish. Klev&Vera's got you covered. Anyway, thank you so much, and we'll be talking to you in a few weeks about other areas of law that families and expats need to know about. And stay safe, Helen.
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Victor. Have a nice day. Thank you
Okay.
to you.